The changeup is something that allows us as pitchers to set the speed limit, right? Yeah. Regardless of how fast you can go. Because you and me, we might be on the same freeway, but you can go a lot faster than I can. But if I can set the speed limit, that means I can start to dictate how fast I go, how fast you don't go.
Swing and a miss. Changeup down and away.
Changeup. My goodness.
A strikeout for Bieber.
A big part of your recipe for success has been the changeup. Something that I have fallen in love with, which is your changeup. I said some things that I can't share on camera about what your changeup was making me feel physically today watching you throw your bullpen. Oh, I may have just came. What is the cue for you that has continued to be able to allow you to execute?
I play catch with that black dot changeup a lot. So, if this is my grip, right? And I want the black dot right here. It's an immediate feedback tool, right? If you see the black dot, good. If you don't, bad. So that's like a quick,
pretty simple.
One throw, good, bad, right? And my brain likes that.
Sure.
Simple, quick stuff. I'm literally trying to throw it like a heater right here. Just don't pronate.
Sure.
I'm not trying to cut it, but I'm definitely not trying to pronate.
Well, you're not a big pronator.
Yeah, it's hard for me to do, and I think it caused a lot of, arm problems for me, was like trying to create this.
Really?
When I, shoulder flexor, whatever it may be, right? Trying to create this. Maybe when I'm out there in a game, I feel this, and that's going to help me execute that pitch today. I'll feel that, So I think that, and that's pitching, right? Things, your bodies move. You maybe are a little fatigued. Arm slot drops a little bit, and that's something to use it even more. So that's like a cue for me. That helps me a ton to where when I get deeper into games, I still have 97 to 100 in the tank.
Take me through the thought process of the changeup. Where did that conversation pop up in your head? Why?
Like you said, I supinate. I do that naturally. Everything wants to go glove side away from a right-handed hitter. It's like, as a hitter, I've been doing it since 2018. Like, why would a right-hander not just lean out over? And that's all they would do. And so, okay, well, I can really open something up if I get something moving towards them instead of just a four-seamer, Like I said, can never take velocity off of my changeup. And so we're like, all right, well, let's stop fighting it. Let's stop trying to do that, and let's just get something that takes off. We tried a few different changeups, like a split changeup, but for me, I don't have the biggest hand, so I couldn't split it. And so I just went one seam, and for some reason, the feel for me was I like to be kind of all over the ball. I couldn't do that. It didn't do much for me.
You couldn't split them? You didn't want to split them?
I could, but it just wasn't, the results were not there.
Not good.
And so I went one seam. For some reason, when I grab with my thumb and pull it on the outside and almost kick it.
Oh,
so I kick it a little bit.
Yeah. Without the spike, actually.
Correct.
Okay.
And I kick it, and it creates all that feel on the inside of my middle finger. And so when I release, we just kept rotating the ball until we could find that one seam axis.
Seam shift?
Yeah. Tried to. So I'm excited to throw that again. I've thrown a couple. I've snuck a couple in a catch.
You feel good about it?
Yeah, I feel good about it. Yeah, as long as the axis is in a good spot, I'm happy.
When you throw 105, is there any desire to throw a changeup? Is there any flirtation? Is that a pitch that's kind of looking at you on the corner going, I know you want to?
Yeah, well, I threw it a little bit this year.
Just now throws, and the pitch is swung on and missed on a changeup.
Using it in the game is the only way that it's going to get better for me. But I play catch with it, and like I said earlier, I'm not a pronation guy, so I can never really turn it over. Whereas that has been kind of how a lot of guys that have good changeups. So you talk to them, you're like, what are you thinking? And it's like just turn it over just a little bit. It's like the more I try to do that, the worse it gets for me. So I've just tried to orient it to get it to spin. Since I have the velocity, my changeup's going to come out in low, sometimes 94. But ideally I want it as close to 90 as I can get. But if I can just set the spin orientation to be as close to a sinker, a one-seam sinker is what I've kind of ended up landing on. Just setting that spin to come out of my hand, and it kind of kicks it to 230, and then just letting the ball work, So I don't have to try to do more. You know, I just get the spin consistent. I get it to a point where I can say, like, this is my target and let it work off of there. But yeah, I think it's a weapon, and I want to use it more. But when you have 2 good pitches, it's hard to will yourself into, like, this is the best pitch to throw here.
Right. If it ain't
when you're
broke.
pitching the 3 most important outs of the game, it's like this isn't really the time to flirt around and play with it. So just finding ways to work it in instances where it makes sense to do it.
Small internal battle between starting pitcher Mason and.
Well, right. That was why I had to develop a changeup was for starting. It's like, well, if you're going to throw 6 innings, you need to have a changeup. You need to at least have a show me.
Right.
But now it's like, how do I throw it and use it as a weapon to a lefty that gets to the fouls off a fastball, and then you're like, okay, well, I'll do this and roll it over and double play.
Right.
You know, it's a weapon that you need to throw when it makes sense, and you need to have full conviction when you do throw it.
Yeah, so like 4-seam, I'm literally traditional, you know, here, and all I do with a changeup is slide it over.
So you said 4-seam change.
Yeah, and it's, you know, I'm not seam shifting. I'm a big pronator.
Yeah, yes, you are. What did I tell you? You just you perked me up. I have referred to you, especially when I call your games, as a master pronator.
Yeah.
This is an individual who really understands how to stay inside the baseball.
Yeah, big time. So it's taken me a while to kind of figure out breaking balls. Like,
yeah,
high school, I was fastball, curveball primarily, messed around with a changeup. But once I got into pro ball, I lost all feel for breaking balls.
Dude, when did I need you to tell me when this happened, because the same exact thing happened to me. I had a great curveball in high school. It disappeared, picked up a changeup, and I've never been able to throw anything with fucking spin.
Yeah, so it's literally like I got drafted. I came out here. Lefties and changeups kind of go together.
Yeah,
it's just,
absolutely.
you kind of,
yes. It's a perfect marriage.
But I got put on like a deload program type thing because I'd thrown some innings in high school, and we just, you know, work on mechanics, work on like putting some weight on. I think I was like 180 pounds at the time, so put some weight on. But I would sit there with a softball and just throw changeups with a softball, and it's like, if you don't get it out here and pronate, that thing is getting launched over somebody's head. So I go to short season, like my first full year, I stay in extended. I go to short season, and I can't figure out a breaking ball. Like, I'm fastball, changeup. You're getting one of the two. Like,
we got the fade with the changeup because there's not a ton of that.
Yeah.
Right. It's just that damn.
Yeah, it's literally.
It just hits a fucking sheet, Riggs, and then just like it ricochets and goes that way.
He strikes out swinging.
I watch guys at times swing under your changeups, right? Like, do you see that?
There's like been a couple times throughout over the last 2 years where like they just swung under. Like, I saw the barrel go under that, like in slow motion on the mound, and I was like, that's just wild.
Dude,
like,
trust me, dude. Watching it, like, you know, like I have a responsibility to like kind of keep it clean for the public that's listening to what I'm saying. But in my mind, I'm like salivating and I'm thinking all kind of like triple X-rated thoughts watching what you've just done.
Yeah, it's I mean, everybody's, you know, a little different. Some guys have changeups that, you know, have like no vert and they just take off. Some guys, like myself, it's more of like a velo difference. If you look at my changeup on paper, people are probably like, that's terrible.
That's
right. Like, that is not a good pitch. But it's like it's 10 to 12 off my fastball, and it has 4-seam spin pretty much, and it's, you know, it's just, everybody's different. You find a way of, you know, you kind of learn who you are as yourself, and, you know, it's like, all right, my changeup plays. I don't need to sit here and try to kill vert, and then it might ruin what I have. So it's like, I'm just trying to get this thing at the bottom of the zone.
What has been a challenge for you with this pitch? With the changeup, with the consistency of this pitch?
I would say just staying very, like I was talking about earlier, staying very stacked and staying very tall and over it. Like the things that I was saying earlier that will expose you if you're at 90 feet, 80 feet, and you do it poorly. That's part of the reason why is just projecting it at times. It's easy to kind of get in your head that you're throwing that pitch and wanting to do a little bit too much and try and execute the pitch rather than just trusting the grip and throwing it. So some guys comes a little bit more naturally of just throwing a changeup, being able to pronate through the ball, and some guys just can't even ever pick it up. You know, I find myself somewhere right in the middle to where I was able to pick it up after a while, but you know, you're always trying to get better, work on it, and
no doubt.
And you know, there's some of the best that are able to do it consistently, and I feel like I'm working my way there. But you know,
well, it's not
it's not an easy pitch to throw.
Not at all. It's that feel that you have to continue to develop.
Yeah, and you know, I've gotten to this grip now where it's worked out for me now. It's where I feel really comfortable with it, but it took a couple years to get to this point.
Well, that's the most important thing, though, is the grip, right? Comfortable being able to go into the glove unconsciously and let it eat.
You know, no matter what sport you're playing or anything you're doing, right? Confidence is you have to have intention and confidence with what you're doing. Being able to say, like, all right, I'm going to do this with conviction. You have to feel comfortable within your hand.
Well, you're just another hurdle for yourself.
Right.